You know what game's just a little bit urban? ICO. Now, I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, and I'll admit there are two very different ways of looking at this story. The first is that it's a wonderful epic about the true bond of friendship, and the other is that it's the most urban and controversial game of all time. And I'm going to explain both theories on that to you right now. First up is the whole ultimate friendship thing. Now, the story begins with a boy named ICO, who had the massive misfortune of being born with horns, which in the game is viewed by everyone else as a sign of evil. So of course, once, some grave misfortune falls on his village, they of course blame the poor kid for that. And so as punishment for his heinous crime of being alive, they take him off to a castle where they lock him up and wait for him to either starve or freeze to death. But luckily for ICO, his prison cell was built by the world's laziest builder, and he quite easily manages to escape by, shaking it a bit. Anyway, after wandering around for a little bit, he manages to find a girl who glows with a mysterious white light, locked up in a cage. Of course, he rescues her, and so the two set off trying to escape from the island using their very different skills, which combined might just give them a chance to escape. The general idea being that one can't escape without the other. As the game's box says, if she dies, you die. If you die, she dies. Of course, it's a lot harder than that, considering that as well as the game's many puzzles and traps, there's also these weird shadow demons that turn up to try and kidnap the girl at just about every available opportunity. And to make matters worse, the only way of defending himself that he has is a useless plank of wood. There is of course more to the game's plot than this, like where did the girl come from, how does she relate to ICO, etc., etc., but I don't really want to spoil too much of the plot for you. Anyway, the general belief among most gamers is that this is one of the most underrated games of all time. I mean, for the time it was released, the graphics are just great, the landscapes are great. I mean, to a certain extent it even uses boredom to give you a sense of scale, which works quite well. I mean, the castle itself seems absolutely huge. And it's rightly believed by many to be one of PS2's all-time great games. And now for the other way of looking at it, the whole controversial and extremely urban side of the game. I mean, let's be honest here, the story is basically about a horny kid trying to escape from prison with a curvy white chick while beating up black guys with a stick. I mean, let's face it, it doesn't get much more urban than that, does it? Next time on All Games Are Urban, how Kingdom Hearts encourages small children to stab themselves.